Welcome to this demonstration of hrpro and the new things available in the current version, version 4.2. We're going to have a look at the new things you can do within the system, including being able to run utilities from find windows, new functions you can use in the system, an entirely new column type that's been added if you're using the workflow part of the system and using lookup columns, filtering those lookup columns, and the new things you can do within the hrpro self-service. First change you'll notice if you're upgrading hrpro, a change to icons. Previous versions 3.7 and 4.1, new icons changed to a rebranded Advanced Business Solutions look. Second thing you'll notice, well, on previous versions when you access a find window you can add records, copy records, delete records, filter records if you want to. On the current version, version 4.2, still have the same options, still can add, copy, delete or filter. We've now added new icons though, new things you can do. You can run utilities from the find window, including custom reports, global updates or mail merges. The idea being, if you want to run one of the utilities, you can just select one of the people from the find window, click on the appropriate utility and from the list choose the particular utility you want to run. So as an example, if you want to run a global update, highlight a person in the list, choose the global update and run it. And the global update will be run for the person that you've selected from the list. It doesn't have to be just one person at a time though. From the find window you can choose multiple people. So if you need to run a function for 2, 3, 4, 5 different people, select the appropriate people from the list, choose the appropriate function to run. So again, it could be a global update, run the global update again. It's going to be run for the people that you've selected from the find window. Again, it's not confined to just global updates. Mail merges, custom reports and data transfers can be run from here as well. Next item we're going to look at is a new function that's been added to the system. We can see it by setting up a calculation. It's a function called replace characters in a string. The idea with this function is, well, it's a kind of find and replace function. You'll find it in a list of character functions, and to use it you basically tell the system what it is you want to go searching for and what you want to replace. So in this case we want to search for a manager name and replace it with another manager name. So it's the kind of thing you could use on a global update. Two other new functions have been added to hrpro. These are probably best used within the system manager part of hrpro and probably best used as validations. More payroll based, these two functions. The first one, if we have a look on the national insurance number column, it's called isValidNI number. It's basically to check if an NI number that's been entered is valid as relating to HMRC rules. Alternatively, an isValid payroll character set function, again following the same kind of idea. Next up is a new column type that we've added to the system called a color picker. The idea is that once you've added this into System Manager and added it to something like a lookup table, you can go to the lookup table in Data Manager and then associate a color with any of the values that are listed. So in this case, absence types, we're associating different colors to different types, which means that when we go to self-service, if we're using charts in self-service, we can see details of absences broken down by different types and colors associated with those particular types. We've added in a new option for the workflow module of hrpro. Within workflow you may be using lookup values within a web form. So if we take a look at an example here, this web form has two lookup values on it, looking to record absence types and absence reasons. And the idea is that on the web form you'd look to record an absence type by selecting it from an absence type table. Once you've done that, you'd want to enter an absence reason. Ideally, the reasons that you could choose should match the absence types that have previously been entered. So for instance, if sickness was entered, you'd only want to be able to choose reasons that match up to sickness. So what we've done is added in this filter lookup values option. So once a detail is entered into the absence type, absence reasons that we can select will only match up to the types that have previously been selected. So again, if sickness is chosen, sickness reasons will be listed in this absence reason table. We've also added in some new things that you can do in the self-service intranet, in particular with database values and charts. If we take a database value to begin with, new options we've got on database values, formatting details. We can now use decimal places, thousand separators, prefixes and suffixes on these database values. We've also added in a conditional formatting section. The idea with this is you could set a kind of traffic light system, red, amber, green for different levels. So if we take absences as an example, one person's absences particularly high, we'll have them listed in red. The next person's absences fairly low, we'll have them listed in green. Again, we can set different colours for different levels. In this example, we've set 3 colours, red, amber and green, for, again, different levels of absence. As we set the levels, so in this case, whether they've had more than 12, under 4, we get to test how the system is going to display those levels. So when we set it up through self-service, assign a colour, and then we can test the different levels and the different colours that are associated. We've also made some changes to how you can view charts within self-service. So we've added to the types of charts you can use, but also how you can view the data for those charts. So firstly, you can view them by opening a separate window, then choose from a now longer list of different chart types, decide what type of information is going to go into those charts, decide how they're going to be displayed, and then decide whether you're looking at values or percentages within those charts. We've also added a drill down utility for charts, so that when a person's accessing self-service, apart from seeing the chart itself, they could from there run something like a report. Could be a custom report, could be a calendar report, possibly even a mail merge. Again, choose the appropriate utility and then the appropriate report or mail merge from the list. We've also added the option of an extra splash of colour to self-service. Separators can be added to make things a little neater, and those separators can be configured to include different colours for different sections. If you're making changes to self-service, at some point you'll want to test those changes. In the past you would have had to have saved System Manager and then logged into self-service to test them. What we've done now is add in a preview section. So if you select a particular group that you've set up details for, you can click the preview button and get an example of how self-service is going to look for that particular group. So it saves having to do the system save first. You can just test it and then make changes if you need to. So in summary, new things that are available in version 4.2. Utilities now can be found on the Find window, mail merges, global updates, custom reports. New functions you can use, replace character in a string, is valid NI number. A new color picker column type, filtered lookups on workflows, and then lots of new things you can now do within the self-service. That's been hrpro version 4.2. Thank you very much for your time.